GL11, we're nearly 20 years old now. We're a thriving community hub in Cam, in sort of semi-rural Gloucestershire. We usually run about 40 or 50 activities a week. There's about 500 people turning up, a whole range of things from kids' activities, community lunches for older people, learn ukulele, creative writing, all sorts of things. So something for everyone really, and quite a lot of support available for people to find employment or volunteer. Volunteering has been really important at GL11. Then in March, everything changed. With the pandemic, we suddenly had to close down and change everything we do.
So we closed Thursday night. Friday morning we came in, it would have been full of toddlers and parents and noise and fun, and it was silent. So that's when Indigo's big plan came into action. She'd had this brainwave. I think it's on the Monday she showed Beth and I her plan.
With a little inspiration, we came up with this model. So with a phone hub in the middle, this was so the whole community could phone us up. We did a door drop to every single house, so everyone had our phone number and we were saying phone us. With lots of other people within the community, the churches, the schools, the local councils, we had a group of coordinators who then interviewed 300 community volunteers. The aim was we had 15,000 people in the area of Cam and Dursley, and each one of these volunteers would look after a patch of 100 people. And so this then rolled out. Within a week, we started getting the calls.
So you would get a phone call, deal with what was on the phone there and then, the phone would go down and it'd be another phone call. And it was sheer desperation really. It was desperation in people's voices, it was the unknown, fear, help, they wanted help and they wanted answers that we didn't really have, but what we could do was help. And we could help with prescriptions, we could help with deliveries, we could help with picking food up, we could help with delivering food. And we were a lifeline, a real lifeline.
So during April, we had 3,000 phone calls. So we had 7 staff just answering the phone.
What we've had to do effectively is turn GL11 inside out. So everything has to happen outside the building, everything has to happen through us reaching out. We have had so many people come forward and bringing the most amazing expertise. We've had a guy called Dave who built a database for us. Without him, we couldn't have done any of this, because within that first month, he was able to build a database so that we could manage all those hundreds of requests, all those volunteers, all those local residents looking for help.
Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, I lost 2 jobs within a fortnight. The transition period between getting things put in place with universal credit, etc., that takes time, and they did assist me and putting me in the right direction with other organisations that could help, which gave me the stability because I felt like I was going under. They sat me down and sort of like reassured me that everything was going to be okay. It was almost like going to a free counselling session, which at the time is exactly what I needed. And I was struggling big time, and they were sort of like a knight in shining armour that sort of like got me on the right track, definitely.
There's a whole layer of people who you would never have thought of as vulnerable, but during this COVID year, they've been at high risk, and they're people who haven't maybe needed to rely on support from other people in the past, but who really need that help at the moment.
I mean, one of the things that GL11's always been really good at is being really innovative, flexible, adaptable. I think in a smaller community-based organisation like GL11, you know, you can just switch it all around, but it takes a massive amount of effort, and you need to have the sort of bravery to do it. They haven't just sat back and gone, this is too hard. You know, they've really gone, right, this is what community needs. Everyone, tomorrow we're shutting the doors, but we're going to do this instead. Because they've got such commitments from their staff and from their volunteers, they've been able to do that, because it takes a lot of goodwill, because everyone loves working with GL11. You know, they love the fact that what they're doing does so much good. They want to give more and more, you know, and we've got no other organisation like them in the district. They've done an incredible turnaround through this.
Oh, I think I'd have gone insane if I'd had to stay at home. To keep active and busy was important to me, and Kathy and the girls here supported me through that as well. So although I was helping them, they were helping me as well. Because I mean, I originally came here volunteering, you know, doing the prescriptions. And then as the weeks sort of like went on and my mental health was deteriorating, I guess, and you know, they set me up with the listening ear service as well, which I still use now. It's just nice to know that there's someone there that I can offload to.
I put my name forward to be a street volunteer and ended up being a coordinator of the listening ear service. It turned out being a service that was operating at a much higher level because we found that so many people just weren't coping. It was really tragic. It sounds dramatic, but we're actually saving lives in the end because people were suicidal. You get people that have in some way been used to working with care services, but then halfway through COVID, the first lockdown, there were a whole new group of people who had been made redundant, had no money, they were waiting for universal credit, didn't know how to do it, didn't know what to do, felt a lot of shame and embarrassment around it. We had a lot of men we were supporting who couldn't feed their families. It was really sad, but so worthwhile that knowing that we had people here that could direct them and point them in the right direction.
We had really bad money problems, and they talked us through it and how we could actually solve them. And when we had no food, they just said, if you need it, just ring, and it helped us save some money towards obviously paying bills off. And they were just generally nice people to talk to, because I've got anxiety and my fiance, I'm a full-time carer for him, and it's just nice to talk to someone about it. So they've always been there. And they won't judge you for losing your job, they won't judge you for having no money. They'll literally be there to talk to you, and you can cry your eyes out if you wanted to. They're just so passionate people, it's lovely.
When I first came to Menchhead, I was so enthralled with it, I came every week, and then as soon as lockdown started, that was hard to say, you can't come to Menchhead. But having said that, I was in contact with GL11 on the phone for various reasons all through the lockdown. So it's kind of, I never left the family.
We set up a project which involved handing out tablets and a dongle to those who didn't have internet at home. Most of these people, they'd never experienced a touchscreen. You know, it's very basic teaching. It's gone down brilliantly. It's fantastic to see somebody who has never had the experience of using any of those digital things to now being able to access medical appointments, to shop online. That was a huge struggle during lockdown, an awful sort of worry for a lot of people. And to see somebody in their 90s for the first time making a video call to relatives has just been absolutely heartwarming. We have a weekly social drop-in for those that are now able to use Zoom. The social group that we used to run, slowly we're getting through all the members and setting them up, and now one by one they join each week and we keep in contact.
Catherine was really helpful. She got me set up with a tablet. It's really quite fun seeing other people and talking, because it's the lack of socialisation that I miss most of all. I think I probably would have had some mental problems, I think, if I hadn't had them to talk to. Yeah, I couldn't manage without GL11, and I'm really glad I found it.
So the food bank has, as you can see, this was our cafe before, is now our food bank room. It's expanding daily. The first few months we were really busy. We have food bank parcels from Stroud Food Bank, but we also get donations from the public, from Sainsbury's, from Lidl, you know, the other supermarkets as well. We might get dropped off food. People are phoning up saying, what do you need? You know, the food bank is absolutely fantastic, you know, and people can't live without it. But there's things that the food bank don't supply, you know, like fresh milk and bread and cheese. So with our donations and money that we were donated as well, we were able to go and buy those things, fruit and veg, potatoes, you know, family basics really. Through the first lockdown, I was delivering food parcels till 7 o'clock at night. But then I go home and know that that family and those children have got warm food in their tummies and they can go to bed happier and not hungry. Yeah, so Seven Vale Community Kitchen, they're supplying us cooked meals that we send out with our Friday parcels.
Prior to the lockdown, we were running a corporate events catering company. We made a pretty radical decision that we were going to use our production kitchen for a completely different use for this year. We've done over 7,000 meals delivered into the community. I would hope that the difference we made, especially right at the start when a lot of people were very frightened and worried, was that we were able to get really good, wholesome food to people within the community who were both vulnerable and in lockdown, which not only fed them but also hopefully gave them a bit of comfort as well.
That's been one of the most important things, is that sense of joining people into the community and not just leaving them on their own. And they've been able to bring people to those big community art projects which have given them hope.
The response has been absolutely amazing, and I've received over 900 photographs. And I have installed rainbows, like one here for GL11 and 7 others dotted around Cam and Dursley. We wanted to encourage people to be more mindful, to treat themselves to looking and to really seeking out colour, whether it was in their homes, if they were shielding, or in their gardens or on their daily walk.
I've got my wife at home that's not well, under care. And I find it just a relief to get out and meet other people. Otherwise, you know, you're locked in the house and it's quite stressing, really. Sometimes I'm not even sure where we're walking because we're just chatting all the time.
Very politely, just say 2 metres, okay, 2 metres.
Basically walking for health. Anybody can come, quite a big age range and abilities. I used to be a GP across the road, and this seemed to be a good way of keeping me fit. You know, keeping involved really.
GL11 is just one organisation in our community, and it's been really important to pull together with all the different charities and churches and schools and businesses.
The church community is very active in the community. We have a lot of volunteers. I think the link with GL11 is very much about developing practical initiatives, and that means person power.
Here we are at the end of the year, and it's fantastic news now that we've got the vaccination beginning to roll out in the area. So we've been really pleased when the local GPs contacted us to manage the Vale site and recruit and manage the volunteers to support the vaccination centre. It's been a fantastic effort again of over 100 volunteers recruited and trained and inducted in a week.
So today is an exciting day because this is our first day of vaccination. There's no way we could have done this without GL11, so it's fantastic in that way. It's sort of heartwarming in a lot of ways because these people are obviously giving their time for nothing, but they're really caring about people, and you can see them helping people out of cars and then chatting to them, making little jokes, making them less anxious, and that's gold dust for me, absolute gold dust. And you know, we're really delivering a service relatively without hitch because of them. So, you know, I feel really proud of them actually, and I've been involved with them for years, and they're a sort of organisation which always seem to come up with someone, usually people, they're people based, and they come up with someone really good, perfect for the job really.
One of the things that I'd like to see in the future for GL11 is more resources put their way. I think in the recent years there's been much more of an understanding that the health and care sectors are relying on community grassroots organisations more and more, and that actually they do a great job. They are very versatile and adaptable and can respond quickly. I am campaigning in my job to get other people with the purse strings to put the money at that community level where it can be helpful. Yeah, I want them to go from strength to strength because they've been absolutely incredible. They always have been, but recently it's just second to none. You know, there's no one like them.
If you want to know what difference we've made over the last 8 months, the first place you might look is on our spreadsheet of requests, and you'll see that we have responded to over 3,500 requests for help from our local community in the last few months, and we've addressed every one of them, and we've been there. And I think that people know that GL11 is there for them.
One of the really important parts of what's been happening in Cam and Dursley is all the partners coming together to really do what we can to meet the needs of our community, so that absolutely no one is left out. I think it's been a fantastic effort by our whole community. All the different partners we work with, all the individual acts of kindness, individual people just really putting themselves out there to help each other. It's a really warm and caring community here, and I think we're all proud to be a part of it.